It looks like Sony saved the twistiest Venom story yet for The Last Dance, the third and final entry in the symbiote saga. If the first trailer is any indication, the studio's working with two left feet, or dancing like nobody's watching. Venom: The Last Dance will feature a number of new characters, including one played by lauded actor Chiwetel Ejiofor. If you like comic book movies at all, you're probably kind of confused. After all, Ejiofor previously played the sorcerer Baron Karl Mordo in the MCU's Doctor Strange movies, a different universe from these three Venom movies. Because Venom briefly appeared to slip into the MCU timeline in Spider-Man: No Way Home, Ejiofor's unnamed role in Venom 3 is eyebrow-raising, to say the least. It's highly unlikely, though still technically possible, that this new character is a variant of Mordo. A stronger theory, given the character's military uniform and apparent vendetta against Venom, is that Ejiofor is playing Orwell Taylor, who hunts down the symbiote anti-hero in the comics. Double castings are relatively common these days with franchises as big as the Marvel films, but the studios have spent so many years encouraging fans to pry into every detail that it's hard not to wonder if something else might be going on.
Come in and tell me everything about your universe.
Sony doesn't have the rights to the Mordo character, so it would be impossible for him to make an appearance without some special Disney deal being done behind the scenes. That said, there is one scene in the Venom: The Last Dance trailer that appears to show Ejiofor's new character in the bar from the mid-credit scene in Spider-Man: No Way Home, a bar that supposedly exists in the MCU dimension of Earth 616. You probably saw Spider-Man: No Way Home.
After just 3 days in theaters, it's already the highest-grossing film of the year and the third biggest opening weekend in movie history.
If you do need a recap, the movie features a spell that's accidentally cast by Doctor Strange and Peter Parker that brings other versions of Spider-Man and their villains into the MCU. The majority of the film is spent figuring out a way to send everyone back to their own dimensions. In the mid-credits scene, we learn that Eddie Brock and Venom were brought to the MCU as well, a crossover previously foreshadowed at the end of Venom: Let There Be Carnage. But instead of having some big confrontation with Spider-Man, they spend the whole time chilling at a bar in Mexico. The Venom: The Last Dance trailer shows what appears to be that same bar, with Ted Lasso alum Cristo Fernandez returning as the bartender. So what's going on here? Was the bartender somehow sucked through the portal that took Venom home, depositing him in a slightly different version of the same bar? Or does the military force pursuing Venom in the new movie have a way to hop through the multiverse to pursue symbiotes? The first option seems more feasible, but it's confusing either way. And considering that the mid-credit scene in No Way Home is mostly played for laughs, it's honestly surprising to see it returned to at all in The Last Dance.
We're gonna need to work on that.
The trans-dimensional bar isn't the only curious Spider-Man reference in the Last Dance trailer. We also get a brief shot of Rhys Ifans playing guitar in the back of a van cruising down the highway. You may remember that Ifans portrayed Dr. Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard, in the Amazing Spider-Man films, and recently reprised the role in No Way Home. Now, Ifans seems to be playing someone else entirely in Venom 3. Unlike the case with Baron Mordo, Sony's movie rights deal with Marvel allows the studio to use Lizard as they see fit, since he's part of their Spider-Man universe. But while this means that he could appear in The Last Dance, Ifans' character in the trailer looks nothing like Dr. Connors. He has two arms rather than one, for starters. Secondly, the Amazing Spider-Man's Lizard would have been sent back to his own timeline, the one where Andrew Garfield plays Peter Parker, which is different from the one where Tom Hardy is Venom. That said, this wouldn't be the first time that a Spider-Man villain from another universe appeared in Sony's standalone films, to confusing results.
I'm not sure how I got here. Has to do with Spider-Man, I think.
Whether it's an Easter egg or a coincidence or something more, it's really odd to see such a memorable Spider-Man actor pop up in what looks to be a pretty small role. As a lighter entry on the list of things that make no sense in the Venom: The Last Dance trailer, we have a curious appearance from Mrs. Chen, the San Francisco-based convenience store owner and confidant to Eddie Brock in the prior two movies. The trailer shows Eddie and Venom running into Mrs. Chen by chance at a Las Vegas casino. She's nearly unrecognizable at first, wearing a dazzling red dress and updo, giving off a bit of a Shrek 2 fairy godmother vibe. What is Mrs. Chen doing in Las Vegas? When did she get what appears to be a substantial payday? How did she manage to cross paths with Eddie and Venom? These questions don't yet have answers, and to be honest, they don't need them either.
Eddie? What was that?
Oh, I have a parasite. Yeah. Name is Chen.
Peggy Lou's performance as Mrs. Chen has been a highlight throughout the Venom films, and it's fun to see her get a glitzy moment dancing with the symbiote in Sin City. If Venom: The Last Dance really is meant to be the end of the series, it's only right that Mrs. Chen gets a proper send-off as well. Toward the end of the Last Dance trailer, we see bits of a fight scene set on top of an airplane in flight. Venom appears to be hitching a ride on the side of the fuselage when a giant monster, some kind of creature from his symbiote world presumably, appears on the aircraft. From the footage, it's hard to tell exactly how the monster gets there, but it seems to have leaped or flown into the sky to find and attack Venom. There are no wings to be seen though, and as far as we know, symbiotes can't just fly whenever they want. There have been instances in the comics where Venom or other symbiotes generate wings or otherwise gain powers of flight. That could be what's happening here, so a fight on a flying jumbo jet isn't exactly an impossible scenario, but the battle is so chaotic that it's hard to pin down exactly what's happening. It's a real Fast and Furious kind of scene, filled with bombastic special effects, and it's sure to be a blast to watch in full. And that'll probably be the case for the full movie. We'll find out when Venom: The Last Dance arrives in theaters on October 25th.